Hey, good morning. What is happening? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the work week for some. It is Tuesday, episode 890. Where are we at? 894, 893, 894. So we're approaching 900. If today is 894, I can't remember what I just typed. Let's see, 894, 95 would be Wednesday. Thursday, 96, 97 on Friday. 97 on Saturday. Skip Sunday, Monday, 98, 98. So like late next week will be 900. Late next week. So sometime in June. Might even be my birthday. My birthday is next week. So let's go to the calendar. Oh, wrong calendar. So if this is 894, 95, 96, 97, 90, wait, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. So I think Wednesday. So my birthday's Tuesday. Okay, enough calendar talk. What's going on? Hope you enjoyed the Monday, the Memorial Day Monday. A holiday. The Cubs finally won. Thank goodness, in spite of a head-scratching lineup. The lineup that produced 3 hits, but a win is a win. Stroman with a complete game. Had a no-hitter, I think, into the 6th inning. There were 4 players in the lineup, and I understand you can't play your 9 best players 162 games a year. They can't play them all. So if you want to try Miles Mastroboni at leadoff, it's okay, but when you also have Matt Mervis, who's sucking in the lineup, and Tucker Barnhart behind the plate, who's great behind the plate, offensively weak. And then who else was in the lineup? Edwin Rios, who's not even hitting 100. He's hitting like 083. So when you have all of that in your starting lineup, it's going to produce 3 hits. In fact, those 4 players I mentioned, all negative WAR players this year, combined to go 0 for 12 yesterday with 6 strikeouts. But the Cubs won. So wave the white flag, wave the W. Sounds so against the Tampa Bay Rays. But to keep winning, we need to have more hits and hopefully better lineups than what we saw yesterday. But win is a win. What do we got going on in the chat? Sal Dougie's here. Good morning. Boston Smoke in the house. George, what's happening? Harlan is here. David, good morning. Donald Davis, what's happening? Good morning. Red Light 34 says hit that like button. Thank you, sir. George in the house. He's in Miami, and he's celebrating the Heat win. So we've got a Miami Heat Denver Nuggets NBA Finals. That's an interesting finals. Heat and Nuggets. We had a cookout at the Notorious MILs last night. And so one of the guys that was there was asking about if I'd been following I'm like, I just don't follow the NBA. I'm like, are they in the NBA? I don't even know where they're at in the playoffs right now. I'm like, are they in the NBA Finals yet? I'm like, well, almost. Denver's in. Like, okay, I think I remember seeing that. And he goes, the Celtics and the Heat are playing for a spot. He goes, I think Game 7's tonight. So, like, oh, well, maybe I'll watch that. I didn't. I don't care about the NBA. But the Heat won, beat the Celtics. So we've got the Heat, the Nuggets in the NBA Finals. If I were to root, I'd have to look at a raw. I don't even know who plays on those teams. Is Dwayne Wade still on the Heat? See, I don't know anything about the NBA. The Nuggets have Jokic. I do know that. Miami, I don't know anything about the Heat. So I'd have to just root for, okay, I like this player and he's on this team, so that's the team I'll root for. We've got plenty of time this morning. Let's look at the Miami Heat roster. I have to blow my nose here in a moment. We still haven't had rain. We're on like day 11 of no rain. Oh, Jimmy Butler. Okay, now I start seeing the names, and it's like, oh, yeah. Jimmy Butler, Tyler Harrow, Bam Adebayo, Jamal Cain. I don't know who he is. He went to Oakland. Interesting. Udonis Haslem. I didn't realize he was still in the league. Harrow. Haywood Highsmith. That's just a fun name. Guess where he went to college? You'll never guess it. Wait. This is a different. Haywood Highsmith went to Wheeling Jesuit. Nikola Jovic is on the Heat roster. Kevin Love. I can't believe he's still in the league. Kyle Lowry. Caleb Martin. I remember him playing at Nevada. Victor Oladipo. Duncan Robinson. Orlando Robinson. Max Strus. Gabe Vincent. Omar Yurtseven. And Cody Zeller. A couple out to me on the Heat roster. Denver Nuggets roster. Who do we got on the Nuggets? Christian Braun, Kansas. Bruce Brown. Thomas Bryant, another Indiana Hoosier. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Vlatko Kankar. Colin Gillespie. I remember him from Nova. Aaron Gordon. Jeff Green. Reggie Jackson. Nikola Jokic. DeAndre Jordan. Jamal Murray. Zeke Naji. Michael Porter Jr. Ish Smith. Great name. Peyton Watson. Jack White. Jack White. Great name. From Duke. He's a Dookie, of course. I'm going to root for the Nuggets because I know more players from the Nuggets. I'll root for the Nuggets. Victor, what's happening? Good morning. Wasn't Jack White from the Black Stripes? It's Jack Black, the comedian. Jack White. Black Stripes? Wait. Jack White, musician. Oh, he's the meme. Isn't he the meme from the Cubs game? Jack White. White Stripes. Oh, makes sense. His last name is White. Let's see. I think he was a meme from a Cubs game in the bleachers. Victor, what's happening? Brian Wolf in the house. Kyle, good morning. Sounds like a good business topic incoming, perhaps around the 8 o'clock hour. Yes. Uncle Rich in the house. Good to see you after finishing what for Bo would be an easy show, but for me it was a long but fun day event. Uncle Rich had his card show this weekend, and he says hit the like button. Thank you, sir. Alex, good morning. Mark says Heat Nuggets, Panthers, Golden Knight finals. Who'd have thunk it? Oh, so the NHL finals also going on. Florida Panthers, Las Vegas 2, hockey. I mean, when you think ice hockey, you think Florida and Las Vegas. Hockey hotbed. Shane Koopman's what's happening. He's going for the Nuggets. Tyler Harrow was injured and missed the series. Okay, the Heat are the underdogs this year with 7 undrafted players and the 8th seeded team. Second team in history to ever make the finals from an 8 seed. Interesting. Udonis is retiring after the season, as is the last man on the bench now. But for fun, they let him start the final game of the season. And he scored like 25 points and set some age record. Oh, that's fun. One of the Celtics players at the end of the bench was Blake Griffin. That's just, it's like Blake Griffin, wasn't he a rookie like just 2 years ago? Time, man. Time flies. Apologies for the blowing of the snot. TD Sports Cards, what's happening? Good morning. It's going to be 90 degrees today, almost 90. It's going to touch 90 degrees today. So that's why normally I don't wear short sleeves in the house because it's so damn cold in here. But it's like 90. I'll wear shorts and a polo. It's okay when I'm drinking coffee, but like later in the morning, once I start drinking water after my coffee, then I'm cold. Because it's like 60. It's probably like I don't have a thermometer down here, but it's okay. Going back to, I can feel it when it's like it's probably only 3 degrees cooler. It's like 68 upstairs, so it's like 65. That's chilly. 65 is chilly in the house. It's cold outside. 65 degrees is cold outside. 90 is nice. 90 is going to be nice. TD Sports Cards, what's happening? Herman is here. What's up? Flawed Thinker, good morning. Zach and Porter, what's happening? John is here. That 70s Card Show says, I think Dick Perez is also in the finals. Rich says with a Kickstarter account. Ed Ames passed away last week. If you don't know Mr. Ames, go Google Ed Ames and Tonight Show Tomahawk Throw. I promise you will end up laughing for a few minutes. Ed Ames should be using StreamYard today. Ed Ames. Tomahawk. Wow, how old was he? 97? 95. Can't do my math, apparently. Ed Ames, who also recorded as Eddie Ames, was an American pop singer and actor. He was known for playing Mingo in the television series Daniel Boone and for his easy listening #1 hits of the mid to late 60s, including My Cup Runneth Over, Time, and When the Snow is on the Roses. He was also part of the popular 1950s singing group with his siblings, the Ames Brothers. Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. While playing Mingo on television, Ames developed some skill throwing a tomahawk. This led to one of the most memorable moments of his career when he appeared on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson on April 27th, 1965. During the course of the show, Ames and Johnny Carson were discussing Ames' tomahawk throwing ability. When Ames claimed he could hit a target from across the room, Carson asked Ames if he could demonstrate the skill. Ames agreed, and a wood panel with a chalk outline of a cowboy was brought onto the stage. Oh, I have seen this clip. As the studio band played a bar of the theme music from Adventures of Pow Wow, Ames proceeded to throw the tomahawk, which hit the cowboy square in the groin with the handle pointing upward. This led to a very long burst of laughter from the audience, which has been called the longest sustained laugh by a live audience in television history. I do recall. I've seen this clip. Yes, that's a funny clip. So Johnny said, Johnny went to pick it up. Ames then said to Carson, think I'm going into another business, John, to which Carson ad-libbed, I didn't even know you were Jewish. So, yeah, that's funny. I do recall that segment. If I don't laugh for a few minutes, will you reimburse me? So the topic for today, am I actually going to? No, I want to talk about dinner last night. Topic for today. Thank you to John, not John, that 70s Card Show. Another John in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. Check it out if you haven't already. We do have a pinned post there for topics, and today I did not have a topic. So I took one from the Facebook group, and it was regarding how do you let me just read it. Let me just read it. John says, how do you figure cost of goods on bulk buys? Do you list junk wax commons? If they're not excellent, do you treat those differently? So I want to break down. It varies for what I'm buying as well. And so I want to share how I break down that cost of goods, what I decide to sell, what I decide not to sell, and if I'm not selling it, what do I do with them? What do I do with them? So kind of varies. My thermometer down here on my computer says record high today. Let's see. Where are we at? Rich says it's on YouTube if you want to see it. Ed Ames, Tomahawk Toss. Cooter's in the house. Good morning. So we had a Memorial Day barbecue grill out last night at the Notorious MIL's. She made some amazing steak. Very tender. I think she got it from Costco. Had steak, baked potato, veggies. Had like an Oreo ice cream. I shouldn't say never because I ate dessert last night. I rarely eat dessert, but I'm not like brownies, chocolate. I like chocolate, but I just don't want a whole chocolate brownie. Like if I'm after dinner, usually if I have something sweet, it's like after dinner, like an hour after dinner, laying on the couch, I've got a sweet tooth. But it's like if I have a cookie in the house, I'll eat a cookie. Or like a piece of chocolate. I don't like brownies, especially right after dinner. Because usually I eat too much at dinner. And I can prove it. So it's like, you have your chocolate, I'll have another beer. So had my spotted cow. However, the Oreo ice cream cake from Dairy Queen, woo, delish. So I finished my plate, had dessert in a rare event. I ate dessert after dinner. So yeah, we had, and what else was there? I think that was about it. Steak, potato, veggies. So that was nice. Nice little Memorial Day barbecue. Ziggy's in the house. What's happening? FYI, Kickstarter for Dick Perez is only available for 3 days. Interesting. Good morning, Matt. Royals 417 in the house. Dan is here. What's happening? So that's about all I did. Yesterday I shipped. The hell else did I do? I did count. I counted some more Cubs cards. Raphael, what's happening? I counted more Cubs cards. So I've been advertising on my Cubs cardometer that I take to card shows. 900,127 because I thought I had a couple flat rate boxes of Cubs. So I just guesstimated and I'm like, I'll update the count once I get these counted. They weren't Cubs. So I have some room to make up, but I'm getting there. And I think I have a flat rate box in my car still that I was in my mailbox the other day last week. So I think once I count that after I counted yesterday, where are we at? After I counted yesterday, because I keep track on my Twitter profile, 896,861. I have not counted these, but I think there's just, most of this is Bowman, so that there's just a small pile here. But I may have a couple packages still in my car. I know I have a flat rate box. It's heavy. I can feel it, so it's full. Usually about 3,000. So I should be to my number that matches, right around the number that matches my Cubs cardometer. So I don't have to like update the number going the opposite direction. So right around 900,000. I got to follow up. I was supposed to do that big Cubs for Blue Jays, but I'm still holding on to several thousand Toronto Blue Jays cards. So one of the guys he's actually contributed like over 100,000 Cubs cards through trades, and I'll buy them for like half a penny a card. He reached out and wants Blue Jays cards, and I'm like, he's like, do you have any Blue Jays sorted? And I'm like, do I ever? How many do you want? I've got like 20,000 of them. So he's like, I think I've got 15,000 Cubs cards. So I'm like, let's do a trade. But we're supposed to do it in the month of April, and here we are going into June, and that trade has not been fulfilled. So I'm gonna have to reach back out and say, hey, you want to do that trade so I can get rid of these Blue Jays and pump up that Cubs number. Let's see. John says the Kickstarter exceeded its goal. Cooter says Bo falsifies Cubs cardometer. Next video from Sports Card Radio. I do. Somebody asked me at the Madison Card Show this past Saturday, how accurate is that number? And so I shared the story of, well, I just kind of guessed. I wanted it to go over 900,000. I had enough cards. I thought I had enough that I had not counted yet. So I put it at that number, but I think I'm 5,000 off. Oh, look, that was a good yawn. Holy cow! I think I had a beer too many last night. A little tired this morning. Steve Ains Comedy in the house. What's happening? Good morning. But normally, like, I do count like every Cubs card. And so that's a question people ask. Oh my God, 900,000. How do you count all of those? Well, I started at 1 and went from there. And it's not like I get 40,000 cards a day. So sometimes it's 35 cards that I have to count. Add 35 to the total. Keep track of the total so I don't have to count them all again. Sometimes a box of 1,000 flat rate boxes I'll count because it varies. The only time I haven't fully counted. So is the count exactly accurate? No, because you gotta what is it? Cut once, measure twice. I think that's the saying. So I've only counted once. And then just keep track. But there's been 2 occasions where I've gotten like just a whole bunch of flat, like 5-row boxes. So it's like, okay, 5-row, these are, 89 Donruss. So you can fit, 5,000, it's a legit 5,000 in a 5-row box. So it's like, okay, there's 10 5-row boxes. Here comes another yawn. Woo. 50,000 cards add to the count. So it could be 4,893. It could be 5,102. So a couple times I have not counted, but usually I count every card that comes in. Zach says only one person should care about the accuracy of the Cubs count, and he uses a fake microphone. That's true. And people can say, somebody early on said, well, you count, it doesn't count. 1 million doesn't count because you count duplicates. But guess what? There's not 1 million unique Cubs cards. So it's literally impossible to collect 1 million unique Cubs cards unless you make your own, which I do count my custom. So when I make custom cards, I make them. It's a couple hundred. And so that when people say, well, you can't count custom because it's not a real card. Well, it's a piece of cardboard the size of a standard baseball card, and it's got a Cubs logo and a picture of a Cubs player on it. So I'm going to count it. Now, do I go out and make 10,000 of them? No. But a few hundred, yes. So if somebody says, well, it doesn't count because you made that card. Okay, well, subtract 300 from my total. And here, you count them just to make sure. If you're that concerned, you count them. Make sure I have 1 million. Or 900,127. Steve says math must be Bo's strong point. I can count to 10. John says, sorry to keep you up. I think the coffee mug is fake as well. It must be this morning. It's not doing its trick so far. See, it's right now it's like cooled, so I can just chug it. Chug the coffee. Brian M., give Panini a few years and there will be 1 million Cubs cards. I saw last night Bronco is sending you more Cubs. He is the best. Bronco rocks. I get to see him at least once a month. Let's see. Zach and Porter says, I lost faith in the accuracy when a Ty Griffin Olympic card counted. Yes, the 1988 Team USA Ty Griffin counts. Every damn one of them I come across, it counts. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. The Joe Carter rated rookie. So I was completely different topic. When I was looking through bargain boxes on Saturday at the Madison Card Show, Matt from 5 Star had a new dollar box. And it was just like a 2-row shoebox. And there was some pretty good stuff in there. Actually, another guy said, he's like, yeah, there's some really good stuff. He's like, this is what I found. There's some more in there. I'm like, ooh, nice. So I went over and looked through. There was some stuff. I didn't pull anything out. I'm like, I'll just come back. But I should have pulled and set aside because I noticed when I went back toward the end of the show, a few cards weren't there. And now I realize which one of them was. There was a 1984 Donruss rated rookie Joe Carter. Now I'm going to buy every one I can find for $1. It's one of my favorite Cubs cards. Now I recall it wasn't there when I went back at the end of the day. Joe Carter, and there was a couple other cards that I'm like, ooh, this is great for $1. I'll come back. And guess what? When I came back, it wasn't there. So now I just remembered, because I noticed, I'm like, oh, there's a couple cards that aren't here that were here earlier. That's what happens when you don't pounce. Steve says, I think his background is fake. There's no actual cards. Well, I'm gonna have to move these damn cards. We're 6 weeks away. Well, we're 4 weeks away from, I've got to get, so last night, I'm talking to my wife. I don't know what we were talking about. We were just talking about the schedule at the house this week. And I said, I just wish I could start taking stuff over. And I can't. There's still a lot of work. There's still work. It's dusty as hell, which I can overcome the dust. Just take the junk. If it gets dusty, I don't care. I've got plenty of storage tubs with lids. So the dust isn't as big of a concern with some of the stuff. But the painters still have to come in. So I can't be bringing stuff in while, there's paint everywhere. So I can't even move stuff in. There's just, even in the unfinished area of the basement, there's, it's being used for work being done. So I'm sure Mark Hoyle in the house, what's happening? I'm sure Mark would be like, what's one of the most annoying things? You're trying to work on a house and somebody wants to bring all their shit in your way when you're trying to do a job. So trying not to be in the way of the contractors so they can do their job. So yeah, I went over yesterday, they put some siding up over the weekend. So that's good. Beverly is still there. Beverly, the duck, has not hatched any eggs. She was sitting on her nest when I went over yesterday to check on her. I hope she hatches those eggs soon so she can get out of there and we can get the siding on. Let's see, where are we at? Mark says that Kickstarter for Perez went quick. Looking forward to the new postcards. Zach says, listen to Mark Hoyle's interview with Dr. Beckett. You won't be disappointed. Oh, excellent. I do want to check that out. Mark and Dr. Jim together is the best content ever. Cooter says, Joe Carter, OKC native. And he had a nephew that played in the Cubs organization. I don't think he even made it to AA, but I remember watching him with the Peoria Chiefs. I think his name was Yusuf Carter. Good morning, Paul Heath. What's happening? Bruce in the house. FYI, I recently bought a couple cards from your store, but I think eBay is splitting one order into 3 or more. Mind you, it's only $1, but you do the math. Yes. Yeah, and I think that's it's partially my fault because I haven't updated a lot of the items in my when I add new items in the store, for some reason it's not following my policies. When I add them from Car Dealer Pro. So I need to figure that out. I mean, I know I can go back after the fact and do it. And many times I don't. So that's partially my fault. Partially eBay's system blows. Good morning, Redbridge. Mark Hoyle says, yes, it's a problem when people start loading in when you're not done. Chelsea Manning is also from OKC. I don't know who that is, and I'm afraid to Google. Good morning, Rep and Ray Jean. What's going on, James? Good morning to you. Tracy's in the house. Good morning. So, yes, Flipping Sports Guy in the house. The policy's not matching has to do with the new international shipping. No, mine, it hasn't matched since before all this happened. Word is, if you opt out of your eBay and policies, will work like normal again. Met Joe Carter at Wichita State baseball camp in my much younger days. So eBay has finally convinced Bo the split order is his fault. I know. Can you believe that? How far we've come. At least I know from eBay. Somebody from eBay told me why it was happening. That's all I wanted. I wish I would have got the answer a year ago when I first started bringing it to their attention. But here we are. I bought a pallet. Like I talked about this yesterday briefly. Didn't realize I was opted into international shipping. I don't know if I'm opted into international shipping. I have the global shipping. But I have noticed I've got international buyers, and the items are not the items are not being sent to Erlanger, which is where the global goes, Erlanger, Kentucky. These are going to like Chicago. Shit, what's the city they're going? I could probably go pick up my envelopes, and I'd have to go through a whole bunch. It's a suburb in Chicago, but because it's like going to like the airport, and it's not O'Hare, it's not Rosemont. Anyway, so yeah, maybe that's the international shipping. Rep and Ray, John, did you have a good holiday? It was okay. We had a cookout last night at my mother-in-law's. I basically worked all weekend. We had the Madison Card Show on Saturday. Sunday I shipped I kind of did some other stuff on Sunday, like other stuff like yard work. And then Monday I shipped, had a cookout. So it was next weekend's a different story. It's Anawan Fun Days. So no Hobby Evolution on Sunday or Monday, because I'll be taking off here around lunchtime Saturday. So I will go live on Saturday morning. Then I'll take off for Anawan. And we always have where I grew up, my mom's house is right on the parade route. So friends and family come to our house. We've got a pretty sweet parade watching location because it's where the parade lineup for Anawan Fun Days is at and around the school. Now, our school in Anawan is preschool through high school. And so the parade lineup is around, the school property, and it comes down. So like my house where I grew up, the driveway just slightly off, but the driveway basically straight from the driveway and 3 blocks down is where the school is. So that's the road. They line up around the school, and then they come down this road, and then my house is right on the highway, Route 6. Did I say Route 6? Route 6. And so they come down, and then they turn onto Route 6, and then they go uptown. However, I've said all along that we call it uptown in Anawan. When I looked at the Village of Anawan on Facebook, and they were touting and promoting Anawan Fun Days, they were saying downtown. It was always uptown. Everybody today everybody calls it uptown. Apparently, something changed. So we've got that corner, and so they come around and they'll do like a wide turn, and there's always a bunch of kids because I have my family tree is a forest. I have 28 first cousins. I forgot about one of them. One of them was a surprise, Uncle Jack, you dirty dog. So I have 28 first cousins, and of course they are like rabbits and have multiple kids. One of my brothers has 5 kids. My other brother has 3 kids, and they have kids. My sister has 3 kids, and they have kids, and they have kids. I am a great uncle at the age of 40. Well, not yet. Well, yes, I am a great uncle once. I'll be a great uncle twice here in the next couple months. So we have a lot of kids that are collecting candy at Anawan Fun Days Parade on Sunday. Somebody says, Shane says, we need a bow show at the Fun Days. I'll have to take some video of Anawan Fun Days just so you have a little idea of what Fun Days is all about. I bet I could do like a video, upload it to YouTube, and then we could play it on Hobby Evolution Tuesday morning. Maybe we'll do that. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Cooter attended Wichita State baseball camp, but probably before Matt. Steve says, I think we are all signed up for international shipping. We sell on eBay. Will you be seeing any Hobby Evolution members at 801 Fun Days? I don't think so. I know there are probably some Hobby Evolution members, or not members, but viewers or occasional viewers that might be there, but I don't think anybody in the chat. I'm pretty sure nobody in the chat will be at 801 Fun Days. I would be pretty shocked if they were. Let's see. Where are we at? Once all the participants line up for the parade, is there anyone left in town to watch? Not really. I miss cookouts. My grill hasn't been working for a while, but I've been trying to hold off until the Father's Day deals to get a new one. Yes, there you go. We need a new grill. My wife is like anti-grill and anti-buying new grills and anti-buying big TVs. I don't understand. It's like we have this, like everything else. Like she went freaking patio furniture shopping. Do you know how much money some of that stuff costs? Like I just like go to Walmart and buy a freaking table. Nay. No problems spending a lot of money on patio furniture and screen porch outdoor furniture. But our frickin' grill that's falling apart barely works. Oh, it still works. We don't need a new grill. It still works. I want a new grill. Where are we at? Let's see. Matt says, let's just say it was the early 80s. eBay opted everyone into the new international shipping. I thought you had a longtime friend in chat here. My friend Brandon watches. He's not in the chat, but I think he watches every once in a while. Zach says, I picture you taking a photo of Fun Days and someone going all Sonny Corleone on you. I've got a grill, Blackstone griddle, and smoker all on my back porch. eBay has added number 10 envelopes that you can buy with your store discount code. I saw that. And boy, they're like 25 cents an envelope. So don't buy those. I will possibly attempt some Fun Days this weekend if some camping gear arrives this week. Probably end up in the Huskow for being on private property or something. Yes, Scott, so expensive. Yeah, I think when I saw that, it's like, I'm doing the math. I'm like, that's 25 cents an envelope. That's ridiculous. So today I am picking up today another pallet from Goodwill. And I saw this I didn't have a topic for today. So I went to the Facebook group, Hobby Evolution Facebook group, and saw some topics. And I figured, hey, this is timely as I pick up a Goodwill pallet. So I want to kind of explain it. I've probably touched on this before, like how I figure out, if it's a good buy. Goodwill pallets, I've learned that even a dud is still a good buy for what I pay. And I pay like $500. $500 for a Goodwill pallet. I mean, that's like 2 hobby boxes, 3 hobby boxes. And I have a lot more fun with a pallet of the unknown. And sometimes there's some really good stuff in there, and sometimes it's a dud. The last pallet was kind of a dud. I did pull the Tom Brady. It did sell yesterday. I think I took a $60 offer, and I had it at $85. Which was a little more. So I decided to price it at $85. Here's why. I think the comps were around like 70 to 75. And I figure, hey, somebody can come in and if they buy 7 cards, they'll get 25% off. And what's 25% off? 85. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to try to do this without my calculator. 850 and 850 is 17. $4.25. So like $22 off. So 75, 65. So like $62 or $63. So if you bought like six, yes, there's Cooter. So if you buy six other cards, even at 99 cents, I'm making an additional 6-7 sales for 99 cents. You may have to spend an extra $6 or $7, but you're getting $21.25 off that $85 sticker. So that's why I priced it the way I did. Most of the time I don't do that, but if it's for a card like that I know is going to get some interest, I'll price it above comps. Most everything I price, if I even check comps, I go below. But for something like that, I'm like, okay, if somebody wants to buy it and they get 6 or 7, they're still going to get a good deal, but they're not going to get a great deal. So that did sell. And it sold for under comps, which I'm okay with. It's been in my store for a week now, I think. And it's like, okay, if it's not going to sell, and I know it's May 30th, May 29th. So I could have, but it came in a Goodwill pallet. Do I want to hang on for another couple months and it sells for 70 or 75? I'll take the 60 today opposed to the 70 in 3 months, 4 months. So the last pallet was kind of a dud. And the Tom Brady rookie was actually it was like hidden. It was in a box with the rest of the 2000 Fleer cards. And that's the funny thing when I see the initial picture, like they'll put like some of the good stuff on top to entice you. And like, usually that's not even the best stuff. Like the best stuff is like hidden because they don't go through it with a fine tooth comb. And I thank them for that. Like the Mike Trout rookie, they weren't advertising a Mike Trout rookie on top. It was in a 9-pocket page in the middle of the pallet. So that it's kind of like a treasure hunt. But I know even if it's a dud like the last pallet, I still know it's worth the $500. It just may take me a lot more time to get to that break even. So, I see some of the stuff on top. It's like, okay, this is good. This is good. This is good. And I don't know what, so this pallet, let me go find, I took a picture of it and see what was on top. I hate that you have to click like so many times. So, no, okay. I want this picture. Here we go. So it looks like there's an unopened pack of 2020 Score football. I did comp those out. Those sell for like $10-15. I don't know if I'll sell. I don't know if I'll sell, rip. I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably just throw it in a box and then couch people Christmas party. I'll rip it. Some vintage basketball. Can't really tell. It looks like they might be soft corners. Some 70s baseball, 60s baseball. There's some autographs. Look like they're in person. A couple Gary Varsho. So those will go in my 89 Fleer and Tops. Those will go in my Cubs collection. There's looks like a Leonard Truck Robinson, a Gary Lucas, Jim Gantner, Mark Barron, Jordan Reed, Kevin Bass, Rick Russell, a couple other footballs that I can't read. So those autographs, couple bucks a pop. There's a Brett Favre rookie, $2. There's a Joe Montana 85 Tops, couple bucks. Let's see. Russell Wilson rookie card, few bucks. So not much, on top, but it's what's inside. That's the fun. That could be the fun stuff. So I'll be picking up that later today. And it's so those I know it's like, okay, it's 500. I'll probably pretty easily make my money back. So I kind of know, but other bulk purchases, it's not that easy. And it's kind of, you just have to know, like, I can't tell if you ask me, like, how do you know what a good buy? You just have to know, and experience is the best way to know. like basically $1.50 cards. If it's a bunch of $1.50, a quarter box, mostly $1.50 cards, free shipping on eBay. So I can't spend 10, 15 cents a card on a 4-row box of quarter cards because it's just, you know, uh, my I've got to think of it as a single transaction where I'm netting about 35 cents. So I want my cost of goods sold to be 1 to 3 cents on a card. And you can find, and that sounds cheap, but you can find those deals pretty easily going to card shows. But if it's, it depends what it is. I say all the time, 80s and 90s stuff sells. Yes, but the sell-through rate is pretty low on that stuff. So when something does sell, it's like, hey, this is great, but it's not like, don't go out and spend $100 on a bunch of, junk wax era stuff that may sit for a long time. It's going to take a lot longer to recoup that $100. So those are all things that I take into consideration when I'm looking for bulk, depending on the price. That's the first thing I add. Well, first thing I do is I look through, say, a quarter box and, is it all $1.50 free shipping cards? If it is, I've got my price. Okay, I need to be at like a penny a card on these. If there's, if there's some other stuff that's okay, I might get $3 to $5 for this, then I'll ask the dealer, how much for this whole box? No given number. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I think I'll pass. And then usually they'll be like, well, what's your number? It's like, my number's not anywhere close. my number's $50 and their number might be 300 or 200. And usually that, my number is my number, like $50. That's what it is. I don't want to go back and forth on negotiating and countering. So it's hard to like just say what's a great deal. How do you get a good deal? It's just, you have to know, because every box is different. It's going to have different stuff in it. So that's kind of how I consider cost of goods. As far as like breaking down the cost of goods, I don't have a breakdown like on a per card basis. It's just this Goodwill pallet, $500. I don't spend the time to break down and track every sale. It's just a waste of time. So I have in my monthly expenses, May, I'll have a $500 Goodwill. And then, those sales might happen in June, but I have May sales. Here's my expenses for May that includes the $500. June, those sales might trickle in. Maybe I didn't buy any inventory in the month of June, but I had all these sales. But in May, I had maybe multiple expenses, limited sales, and then just figure it out at the end of the year. So that's how I break down the bulk purchases. I don't break it down on a card by card basis. It's just a waste of time. Chasing your own tail. What was the other? So this was from the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. So what do I list? So do I list junk wax comments? Not really. No. Unless it's from a set that is not very common. Like if it's 89 tops, 90 upper deck, no, not going to list the junk wax comments. So what do I do with those? I'm going to cherry pick. When I get today's pallet, I'm going to cherry pick the good stuff, the really good stuff I'll list. And then I'll have a box. I'll have like a 4-row box of, this is going to go in my $1.50, Card Dealer Pro update. The Cubs obviously are going to go into my personal collection. What do I do with the rest? I pile it up and I bulk it out. So once I get like a truckload, I sell my truckload for $500, mainly pick through, but I'll keep, I might even throw a quarter box in there for whoever buys my truckload of cards. So that's what I do. Sometimes there's dinged corners. A lot, there's a box from the last pallet they're in like garbage bags and like grocery store bags. I'm going to pull out the cards because every once in a while there may be top loaded cards in there that are good, or there may be like, I found a Giannis rookie debut ticket stub that sold for over $200 in a grocery store bag. So I still go through that stuff. I pull the Cubs and hopefully find something decent. But the rest of the stuff goes right back in the bag and it goes in the recycle bin. So I throw a lot of cards away from these Goodwill pallets because they're just junk junk cards. So that's kind of what I do with the rest of the stuff. Talking about the international shipping in the chat. Shane wants to know, anyone have problems shipping PWE to Puerto Rico? eBay won't let me create a label and doesn't tell me why. So yes, and I'm pretty sure the reason why is the buyer lists Puerto Rico as the country. So what I found is half of my Puerto Rico sales are good, and half of them I just have to use a regular stamp. So I have plenty of stamps on hand for my Puerto Rico sales. So that's why. The buyer has listed Puerto Rico as their country. I think if you leave it blank, it works. So that's why some Puerto Rico sales work with standard envelope and others does not allow you to use standard envelope. Cooter says, I've become a fan of the international shipping program. I've sold several items since being auto-enrolled. You send the item to Illinois and bear no risk of return. So that's what the international shipping is. So it is that, like Glendale Heights, I think. I think it finally came to me. Glendale Heights, I believe, is the address. So that is the international shipping, because I've noticed some of my sales and where they're, somebody would ask a question and I'm like, I'm surprised they can even see this, because they're from, name a country. And then when they purchase it, it's going to Illinois, and it has like all that funky, those like 17 digits, not tracking, but 17 digit like order number or whatever, because I'm sure that's part of the international tracking. Let's see. Shane's going to try that. Good morning, all. Dan in the house, late to the chat. Hope everyone has a great day. Thank you. So that's all I had for today. So I've got a lot of shipping to do, and I've still got to bring in all my card show inventory, so I have room to pick up the pallet later today. I probably won't do any videos. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Probably not. Don't expect any. But tomorrow, I'll let you know some of the stuff I find from this most recent. I think this is pallet number 15 that I've purchased from Goodwill. Baseball card curmudgeon, what's happening? Good Tuesday morning to you. What else is going on? Not much. Going to do some shipping, maybe some listing today. Shipping and listing and shipping. Not sure. We'll see. So with that, I'm going to take off. Have a great day. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Facebook group. We've got some great chat going on over there. Link is in the description to this video. My eBay store is also in the description. Buy 7 or more at regular price, and you'll get 25% off at checkout. So with that, I'm going to take off. Have a great Tuesday. Almost said Monday. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll chat tomorrow.